The climax of the European golfing season, the Volvo Masters, live from Valderrama after the break.
Eurosport Live.
The Volvo Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Hello and welcome to Valderrama for round 3 of the 8th Volvo Masters, the grand finale of the European golf year. Valderrama once again voted #1 course on the continent, 6,819 yards long, par 71, an immaculately manicured monster of a golf course. This is where the top 54 players from the Volvo Order of Merit test themselves in the final event of the European year. Valderrama, as ever, the host for the Volvo Masters, midway between Malaga and Cadiz on Spain's Costa del Sol, and of course the venue for the 1997 Ryder Cup by Johnny Walker. Well, yesterday it was Anders Forsbrand who'd begun the day in the lead after a first round 68. 17, a hole that's attracted so much controversy. A beautiful chip from behind, that would lead to a birdie and a round of 70 for Forsbrand to put him at 4 under par, and that would be good enough for a 2-shot lead. Forsbrand, the winner of the German Masters, the last stroke to play event on the tour, and of course the touring professional at Valderrama, where he's been attached for the last 6 years. Round of the day though was a 66 from Alexander Cheka, and he in second place. Well, conditions today absolutely perfect, virtually no wind at all. It's hot and it's sunny, and the scoring has been pretty good. The best round so far, Per-Erik Johansson, a 66. Mark James, who was my co-commentator on the first day, been letting his clubs do the talking today. He was round in 68. But Forsbrand still has that lead. He dropped his first shot of the day at the 9th, but still 4 under, level par for the day. And Bernhard Langer and David Guilford playing together, both made birdie at 10 to go to 2 under. You can see Johansson's round of 66 put him in right up in contention. And of course there's a race for the #1 spot in the rankings, and Colin Montgomery, he's been #1 for the last 2 years. At the moment, doing pretty well in that battle. He's got to keep an eye on Sam Torrance, who's 5 over, not having a good day, and of course Bernhard Langer. Well, Ian Woosnam, second shot at the par 5 11th. And Woosie picked up a shot at the 4th, but he dropped shots at 7, 8 and 9. He just made a birdie at 10, and he's back to level par and 1 over for today's round. And this is the view from the high camera behind the temple, looking down on a green that slopes from, as you look at it, right to left towards the fairway. And Forsbrand playing with Alexander Cheka, who is level par, 2 over, out in 37. Forsbrand made a birdie at the 2nd, then had to struggle, holding good putts at 7 and 8 to save his par, and dropped his first shot, as I say, at the 9th, out in 35. That's level par for the first 9. It's 36 coming home. And this one may turn towards the holes. You've got the legs. Just a par. Good rounds also today. Greg Turner and Peter Baker, both with 70s. And any score par or better is a superb effort. And lots of troubles and trials and tribulations for the players, and you can see the busy men are the referees. He's just been ruling on Miguel Jimenez up in a tree on 16, and now he's having a look at Colin Montgomery. Montgomery on the par 5, or par 3, 15th. Picked up a shot at the 3rd, dropped a shot at 5, and then birdied 8 and 9, and pars since. So he's 2 under for the day. This tournament 2 years ago, tied 4th last year, and Europe's #1 for the last 2 years. And he's just under £4,000 behind Sam Torrance. And I say Sam Torrance 5 over. He's just dropped shots at 15 and 16, and he's 3 over for the day. So Colin Montgomery looking pretty strong. Remember, and he's some £56,000 ahead of Bernhard Langer, who's in 3rd place. And if Langer wins, defends the title successfully, Monty would have to finish second to take the Order of Merit crown. All sorts of permutations, and we'll get the slide rule out tomorrow when it becomes closer to actually happening. See this putt from the top of the 15, very quick, and he could just set that on his way.
I should be, but I was thinking just maybe catching up down, or just jumping and
There's
stuff.
the 11th hole, 32 paces on, cut fairly close to the right side as well, so plenty of green to work with.
I think I can hit this either right. Yeah.
Up the hill, highest part of the course. Sven Struve's already played, and there's see that just onto the back. Who's actually playing with Jose Caceres, who's out in 39 and slipping back 3 over.
I'm not sure, I mean, could have come back.
Wait, now.
11th tee for Alexander Cheika after a par at 10. And up the left-hand side, and may sit down and nestle down in the rough, and that means he will just have to lay up, no chance of getting anywhere near into. Forsbrand 4 under that 68. He was the 3rd match out on Thursday, so he's really led from the gun. Strong player using the iron off the tee a lot, but that also going away to the left. Doesn't want to be too, he's okay. And the ball's sitting up, so he can get a flyer out of there.
No, it could be over at 3.
Big crowds here at Valderrama. There's Miguel Angel Jimenez, where his second shot finished up in the tree, and Gary, the caddy for Barry Lane, had to climb up into the tree to retrieve the ball, so he's had a penalty drop for unplayable ball. And the referee, Andy McPhee, there. Two up in the tree, penalty drop, and played 4. 12th, and the back of the green with a difficult putt back down the hill, though this green has been flattened slightly over the years, is David Guilford. And Guilford probably playing the steadiest golf among the leaders. He had birdies at 10 and at 8. And all the other 8 holes to the turn and the 11th both resulted in par, all resulted in pars. Big swing on this one, almost a double break, and the pace all important, pretty good from Guilford. These two played together yesterday and both returned 68, so they're paired for this 3rd round of the Volvo Masters. He moves them then for birdie at the 11. Not had too many problems putting from this range. It's the shorter putts that have given him trouble on that. He's annoyed, but you've just got to keep plugging away at those, and you can take your chances when they present themselves. But obviously, be disappointed to take 3 to get down from fairly close to the green after 2 shots. Miguel Jimenez having to take an unplayable drop at 16. I'm sure many of you remember Bernhard Langer actually playing the ball from a tree the Benton Hedges some years ago when it was at Fulford in Yorkshire. Jose Rivera, former course record holder at Valderrama, going well. Paul Hills slipping back by 1. That's 68 from Mark James, a useful round because he's in for a sizable chunk of the Volvo bonus pool. £500,000 to be divided amongst the top 15 in the order of merit. After tomorrow's results and prize money have been added on. I'm not very happy with his game after first round 74. Working hard until it got dark, and at crack of dawn yesterday seemed to produce the desired result, because the 62 in the second round last year, when he was out in 31, we just wondered was there a repeat on the way. In the end he had to settle for a 68. Alexander Cheka was the best front nine. He was out in 29, 6 under. Cheka today out in 37. Jimenez looking to escape with a 5. And that's not a bad bogey in the circumstances. He had 3 birdies in a row from the second, out in 33, and that's his first bogey of the day. Second bogey of the day, but first bogey since the turn, and really a bit of an escape. And as Forsbrand then, steady golf, level par today, leads by 2 from David Guilford and Bernhard Langer. The 66 from Per Ulrik Johansson, equal best of the week. And Johansson, the leader in the clubhouse. Colin Montgomery going well also. Howard Clark also having a useful week. Paul Eels 1 over. Mark James with a 68, put him into contention. Barry Lane slipping back a little. And you see Sam Torrance 4 over. He's just birdied 17. Sam Torrance, man with that slender lead at the top of the Volvo Order of Merit, and he's never won it. This man has been number 1 before. He's more interested in winning the Volvo Masters for the 2nd time. If he finishes 1st or 2nd this week, he also becomes the first European player to go through the £5 million mark in winnings. You see, it doesn't matter what length of putt, it always gets the 100% concentration from Bernhard. Brother Erwin is here, played golf this morning with our German commentator, Ralph Klinkenberg. I think he's going to come down and do a spot of commentary later on. I've got Jamie Spence, who's around in 72, joining me in commentary in about 10-15 minutes time. So we get a player's view on the course. I know many of you enjoyed Mark James on the opening day, and Tony Johnston, who came in yesterday. Tony, the second day, has had a 71, so he's looking and learning. And the final match of the day on the 11th, Jaker. The first time he's been to the turn in 29 yesterday. Oddly enough, though, all 4 tournaments in Germany on this year's Volvo Tour, Jaker's missed the cut. But a winner just along the coast to Islandia in the Andalusian Open, and also in Austria in the Huabuca Open, where he's open with a first round 61, which is equal lowest round of the year on the Volvo Tour, with Russell Clayton's 61 in Berlin. Novelo just in, having signed for a 69, which include an eagle at the 4th. Just coming out of the semi-rough, it looks innocuous, but it may cause the ball to fly. Oh, well, it didn't. That's a spectacular shot from Cheika, and he for sure is going to go 1 under. 3s for Guilford and Verlanger at the 12th. He's still in 2nd place at 2 under. This is the leader, 2 shot clear. You see that one just bounced hard for Anders Forsbrand. Oh, it's a little firm. Conor Montgomery from the left-hand side of the 16th. Yeah, now will this one spin for him? Not really. See to the back of the green, having come out of the rough. And Woosnam at this 12th hole, which has yielded the 5th hole-in-one in the Volvo Masters history earlier today. Andrew Coulthard, would you believe? The man getting the ace who hole-in-one in last week's Alfred Dunhill final against Tony Johnston in the final on the 8th hole on the old course. Didn't get anything for that, and I'm not sure he's going to get anything for the hole-in-one today, because he used to give Volvo cars away. Not anymore. Montgomery's record exemplary in recent years at Valderrama. Lost the playoff to Sandy Lar, 92. Won it in 93, equal 4th last year. Top 10 finish in 1990. He's played in every one. Missed the cut in the first two. In those days, a slightly larger field. 54 here this week. No cut. And they're only score order after round one. Yeah, quite a big swing on this one from left to right. Now, if he's got the pace, this could be very close. Well, from that range, he may be a little bit disappointed, but sometimes you just have to take your part. Here's Sam Tarrant's second shot to 18. Coming off that birdie at 17. Oh, he may just finish birdie, and that could turn a rather disappointing day into one where there are still possibilities for round 4. He's 4 over at the moment. Anders Forsbrand. This green over the years has been altered also. It was very steep up to the pin a few years ago, but they've started to flatten it out. Needed a flick of the ball marker. Forsbrand with a putter that he used so well to win in Berlin. He's had it in the bag since the Volvo Scandinavian Masters at the beginning of August. He's in a position now, Forsbrand, where with that 2-shot advantage, par pretty well good enough. No one's really going to charge at him. If he can keep making the pars and just pick up a birdie here and there, it'd be very tough to beat. An easy 4 then in the end for Cheika. Hair growing a little bit now, had it pretty well shaved off after winning the Austrian Open. He's a man who likes fast cars, rode off a Porsche in the week preceding the Trophy Long Comp. The car didn't come out a bit too well, but Alexander Cheika unscathed. They're the best rounds of the day. Per-Erik Johansson, a 66. Mark James, a 68. Frank Nobilo, 69. And 70s for Turner, Garrido and Baker. So far, only 6 players have returned third round scores of under par. Bernhard Langer waiting to play his second into the 13th. Shortish par 4. The longest tee shots from Bernhard. 402 yards, narrow green, but he's hit a beautiful second, almost span back into its own pitch mark. And a definite birdie chance for Langer. Sven Struve at 15. It's a really fast putt down the hill, moving quite steeply from left to right. Struve 1 under for today's round. 2 birdies and 1 bogey. Oh. Second shot at the 12 from Ian Woosnam. You see the pin right on the right side. He was coming in for the left, so not a very good tee shot, but excellent recovery. Woosnam has the chance this week to turn a disappointing season into one which he can take satisfaction from, and also progress into next year and prove that he's not finished as a major player. And here's David Guilford, who doesn't miss many fairways, and he's missed this one by quite some distance. Hasn't had a bogey yet. He's going to hit this through the trees and with cut. And if that just holds onto the front, now that could slip back. It's quite a steep slope up to the front of the green. He's okay. Sam Torrance then to finish birdie. Dropped the shot at the second and then again at the fifth. And they picked up a birdie at 7, the hardest hole on the course, long par 4. And birdies have been few and very far between. And it's been a mixed bag since the turn. Dropped the shot at 11, also at 15 and 16 birdies at 13 and 17. This then for a 72. Sam just having a wander around, and I'm joined by Jamie Spence. Good afternoon, Jamie.
Afternoon, Steve.
And this is a hole you know well. Birdie 3 here for you today.
Yeah, I hold a putt about 50 feet across the green and hold a thing all day, and then hold a ridiculously long one like that. Similar line to Sam's putt here. He just wants to hit about the left edge. But like all the putts on this course, it's all about the pace. Come on, Sam, look at him.
Yes, swung a bit too much, didn't it?
Just slid away.
I know most of the neutrals, it's going to be tough for Sam with Monty and Bernhard Langer going so well. Most of the neutrals would like to see Sam win the Order of Merit.
Yeah, most of the other pros would as well. I mean, he's been out here a long time, and you feel that if he's going to do it, it's got to be this year, Steve. So we're all hoping Sam can do it, and he's still not out of it, really. Anything can happen tomorrow.
He's the man who's fired a 65 round here in the first round last year. On the 15th, and Jose Rivero, who's 1 under at the moment, pars all the way from the turn. And this is a tricky hole. I mean, there is working its way down towards the flag, but that's a fiendish pin placing.
Well, when it's so tucked on the right-hand side, you have to keep it down the left, and it leaves you with a very difficult putt down the hill. Here we have David on the 13th. This pin's sort of cut on top of a bit of a ridge, so it's not so easy to get it close here. And should tail off to the right a bit now. That's not too bad.
He hit his drive just before he came in and missed it quite wide on the right, so if he can escape with a 4.
Yeah, it's very good. There's 2 trees on the edge of the fairways on the 13th, and you have to sort of hit it dead straight or just short of them to have a shot to the green.
Ian Woosnam for a sand save coming from the left-hand side of the green to here. This is for par. This is the length that's been giving him trouble, and it's good to see Woosie knocking one of those in. So 72, you're reasonably pleased with that?
Yeah, I mean 72 is like shooting 2 under, really, to be honest, out there. It's difficult to explain to people watching at home on TV how difficult it all is. Just with the rough that makes it so difficult on this golf course, because it's very difficult to hit the fairways, and then once you're in the rough, you can't control the ball onto the quick green, so very difficult indeed.
And this 4th round's played pretty steadily. Dropped the shot here in his first round, 68 at the par yesterday. Longish iron.
Yeah, and is a very long hitter though. I think maybe a 5 iron even for him.
Oh, keep cutting.
Likes it, he's staying with it. Yeah, that's a good shot.
Pin's only 7 paces on, it's pretty close to the front of that green.
Very difficult. If anything pitches short of the green, it sticks in the Bermuda, and he's judged that just right.
Well, here's Miguel Angel Jimenez at 17. He dropped a shot yesterday.
He might hold this to tee, do you think?
Just to make up.
Just about right edge, Miguel, I think. It looks very similar to how he held it last year.
He was in the water last time. Now if he's short and right, that's in the water.
I think it is. No.
Is it going to hold? Is it going to...
Oh, lucky
get up there,
boy,
get up there and play it. They haven't got that today. They've let it grow.
I think that's a locals bounce, isn't it?
Well, we've seen, I think Bernhard Langer on the first day pitch up there and just roll into the water. Back on the tee is Colin Montgomery. Now, he may not be. Would he be using the driver on this one? No, Senor Bettino said, well, you don't have to hit the driver on a par 5.
Yeah, if you don't hit a driver, you can't reach the green. That's the only problem. This hot drive is really made for Monty. Just a little bit of a slide on it. He was playing a little bit into the wind when we played it earlier, so you couldn't really run out of the rough today. Barry's a very strong iron player as well. Wouldn't know what club he's hitting here, but probably something like a 3-iron, maybe a 2-iron. He can fly the ball quite high as well.
He's coming off 2 bogeys in a row. In fact, 3 drop shots in 4 holes.
It's up and away.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Now, if that goes in the water and Miguel stays out.
He could nudge Miguel's in, I think.
Not a bad shot. The pin placing a little kinder today.
Yeah, it's just on top of a ridge, so Barry's not got too difficult a chip there.
Well, Guilford then to save his par at 13.
Wasn't doing that in the Ryder Cup, Steve, was he?
Fortunately.
No, fortunately, we let him off that one. Just for a change, I think Monty's hit it down the middle.
He's coming through very strongly today, isn't he?
He's such a good driver of the ball, and on this golf course it's imperative to be on the fairways, as I said earlier. Just taking the weight off his feet.
This is for the first bogey of the day for David Guilford.
Again, David being a very straight hitter, he's going to be suited by this type of golf course.
He's done well here in the past. He's playing with Bernhard Langer, and Langer was a little long, but not by much. Super second shot, and this for birdie. It's to go just 1 shot behind Anders Forsbrand.
Difficult putt, Steve. Where they put that flag, it looks pretty flat from where we're sitting here, but it's a very difficult pin placement.
You had a lesson with Russell Claydon's coach, Eddie Burton, yesterday. He's a bit upset because he's a Tottenham fan. He doesn't want like his coach teaching Arsenal fans.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he's giving me the right information, but it worked anyway. As I hit the ball much better today, especially off the tee. I didn't realise he was a Tottenham fan. Maybe I won't go and see him after all.
No, Eddie's not, but Russell, he teaches Russell who is, and he doesn't like giving Arsenal anything.
No, he doesn't.
And my spies also tell me that you were playing football yesterday
with the kids, yeah, and
you lost their ball.
Unfortunately,
you
yes.
Was it
my close control wasn't too clever.
Ball
Steve.
Up on the roof.
Yeah.
Next impression, Naeem.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ian Woosnam then. Ideal spot on the 13th.
Yeah, super shot from Ian. Probably about an 8 or 9 iron for him there. Did very well to stop it because the greens are actually getting a bit firmer, I found. Much firmer today than they have been the first 2 days.
Quite hot out there.
It is very steamy, actually. Very steamy. The actual temperature's not too hot, but it's quite humid. Too humid for me.
Great round from Per Johansson at 66.
Yeah, to make all those birdies out here is tremendous effort. I think I've had 2 in 3 days, I think. That's what it feels like. Again, this green is like an upturned saucer, so Anders is...
Stuart Forsbrand,
yeah.
Mrs. Forsbrand. Stuart.
She looks like she's praying there, doesn't she? I think she have a few more prayers before the week's over.
Might need 1 or 2, yeah.
You need to pray on this green. Up it over and down the other side. Yeah, you couldn't get too aggressive with that putt, really. You just had to lag putt.
I mean, some holes you just say, well, par will have to do.
Well, absolutely. I mean, how many people are going to break par at the end of the week? You just pass.
There's him and his 3rd shot, 17. Well, he may be back in the birdie mode.
Yeah. It's a good chip. The flag there's just over a little ridge, so it's very difficult to get the ball dead weight. It's not a bad chip there. Considering he should have been in the water, he's done pretty well.
15th and Rivero for birdie, but right down again, it's one of those you'll settle for getting down in 2 from here.
Just all pace. What you don't want to do is leave it too short and have another downhill putt.
A bit of pace on that one.
Well, he certainly got it past the hole there. But you'd rather have that one than a 4-footer down the hill, to be honest. Jose's doesn't look very happy. Unless he holds out his 5 irons, he doesn't look happy.
Playing with Paul Eales, who's 1 over. Dropped 2 shots early on. Anders Forsbrand just a little to do for his par at 12. He's leading by 2 from Bernhard Langer. Langer had a real chance at 13 to close the gap. And it's the home professional who's led from the start. Anders Forsbrand, he's still there. He's 2 clear. We'll be back with more from the 3rd round of the Volvo Masters, live from Valderrama in just a moment. So there we are. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Valderrama. 3rd round of the Volvo Masters. I'm Steve Beddoe, and joining me in commentary, Jamie Spence, who's round in 72 and reasonably happy with that. It's a tough golf course. Par 71, standard scratch must be about 74, I guess. 76, Steve. Ian Woosnam for a birdie at 13. While you're away, Miguel Jimenez missed his putt for birdie at 17. Jose Rivero holed that one back at 15 and made his par. Paul Eales also made par. Woos is up very quickly on that.
Just come up on that one, didn't he? You just can't read the line on this green and get it in your mind what line it really is, and obviously that was the case with Wizzy.
Memorably, Tony Johnston in your seat yesterday said that he found trying to read the greens was like a blind man with a cane looking for a black cat in a dark room.
That's right, yeah.
Didn't do so badly today, had a 71. Jean-Louis Gepi playing with Sam Torrance, finished with a bogey. Around a 71, and Gepi 2 over. Just got into this tournament when Jose Maria Olazabal pulled out through injury, and doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's a very good player, John. His 2nd year out here, I think. Disappointing there for Wizzy. Could have needed that. Go back in the red. Have another look at it.
You just get the feeling with Woos, if he makes 3 birdies in a row, he's likely to 3-putt or something's like to go, and there's not that consistency about that. You can say, well, Colin Montgomery's got that consistent. That's why he's had such a good season.
Yes, that's right. You feel Monty and Langer would have banged that birdie putt in, wouldn't you, and then gone on from there.
Oh, Monty deciding to lay up at 17.
Oh.
Now he's got a difficult shot.
Spun back down a little bit. As long if he's on the flat, it's not too bad. If he's slightly on a downslope, very, very difficult, even for Colin. Producing some drama this hole this week, Steve, isn't it?
And Bernhard Langer at 14 has hit his 2nd very close. We'll be there in a moment to have a look at Langer's attempt for birdie and to close that gap on Anders Forsbrand to 1. Forsbrand's been impressive this week, though, and of course in Berlin in the last stroke play tournament.
Yeah, played very well there. Shot 20 odd under par, and is carrying it on this week.
David Guilford is 3rd at 14. And he would say if there's a weakness to his game, it's the chipping.
It's the flop shot, the soft shot. That sort of run shot David's quite happy with, but when he's actually got to just flop a soft one over a bunker. You saw on the Ryder Cup there where he had that shot at the last, he had to just flop it onto the green. He struggled. That's not to say he's a bad chipper, because he's not, but it's just not as good as the rest of his game.
But he was saying that last shot at the Ryder Cup, that he just couldn't see the shot with the lob wedge. Couldn't see keeping it on the green, so
no.
I mean, in the end he got the 5 that needed, maybe the hard way, but
it's easy for us sitting at home saying just flop it up, Dave, on the edge of the green, but
well,
we're not there.
Everybody else in the team out there was saying, for goodness sake, Dave, flop it up.
I think there was about 6 different ways of playing it according to everybody else. So, but what a great putt he held. Bernard's hit a lovely shot in here.
Well, needs to start cashing. You feel he's the sort of player that could just start squeezing Forsbrand.
It's made for him, isn't it, Bernard? This sort of golf course, you've really got to grind it out, and there's no one better than Bernard. No.
Low side though.
And that's the difficulty. You're trying to just ease the ball into the hole, and you're very wary of giving it too much pace and hitting it through the break. And I wonder what's going through Bernard's mind there. Never always looks the same, doesn't he?
That was your German, yeah. I mean, it is a tough course, and I suppose the president, Signor Bettinio, would say, well, you know, these are the best players in Europe, and they're going to be presented with a tough test. I mean,
he certainly succeeded in doing that, I think.
But the conditions of the course and the practice area and
everything's first class, and we all look forward to coming here. It's just so bloody difficult when you get on the golf course.
Right, David Guilford then to save his par.
Just wants to hit this touch left to right. Doesn't waste much energy on these, David, does he? They normally just dribble in. There we go.
He's got the ability to win here, no question about it.
No question about it. And anybody within 4 or 5 of the lead going into tomorrow on this golf course is well capable of winning.
Well, here's Anders Forsbrand. He's hit his tee shot left at 13. He's just got to go over those trees. He's far enough back, I think.
He is far enough back. I had the same sort of shot hitting 8-iron over the green. He's probably hitting a 9. Very strong player. Just depends how it comes out. Very good shot.
Probably because he hits that ball a little bit harder. He's got a bit more grip on
That's
it.
right, you can get the ball a little bit higher and get a little bit more stop. Someone as short as me, the ball tends to come out a little bit flatter.
Well, also in trouble when a lot closer to the trees and having to take the low route is Undertaker. Taking his line on the camera, that's overdone. He's hooked that too much.
Seems to have done, but well, that's not too bad from where he was. Difficult chip from there, but that's the difficulty of Valderrama. You miss the fairways, you've always got trees to contend with.
Yeah, the viewers at home watching will just see what looks like fairly short rough, but it's a lot tougher than that. Now, Michael Johnson.
Don't hit it clean, Michael.
Go all the way towards the water. Now he's in trouble. He's in trouble. Oh dear.
Well, that was a very, very difficult golf shot he had there. Slight downhill lie in the bunker, and
He's had problems on the par 5. He's already taken a 7 at the 11th. 4 over for the day.
he's now going to go back over the other side of the water or play it again from the bunker. I don't think he'll be playing it again from the bunker. Lovely shot. Lovely shot.
Got a chance. Couldn't have played that any better, got it any closer.
Well,
Really.
it looked like he was going to stop 6 inches from the hole, didn't it? He still dribbled past and left him with a tricky 4-footer to make 4. And he's
just as well we talked over that.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
saying, what a pity that rolled on.
15th then, and Bernhard like it's about 230 to the pin.
238 today. Flag right in the back corner. 1 iron there for Bernard.
Now, has he hit that away? Has it gone away to the right?
Well, it's pretty good to me. Straight.
Oh, that's a long way right.
Yes.
Now, well, you've not sat in this chair for the last 3 days. I know when it's going right. I've got a director telling me, and just sort of guess from the camera. That's a rare error from Bernhard.
It is, yeah. But if he's got to lie down there, it's not too bad because he's hitting up the hill and be able to stop the ball okay. It's just a case of how the ball's going to lie. But I should think Bernard was trying to keep it right of the flag to keep him up, putting up the hill, and he's just overdone it.
David Guilford going across to the right extreme of the tee.
Looks like he's going to try and just cut a low 1 iron in here and just run it down the green.
Maybe exactly that. It's starting to turn now.
It's hit it where I think everybody else has hit it. It's exactly where I was, and it's a very difficult shot.
Did you get down in 2?
I did, but it wasn't a very good chip. I hit about 5 footer to hole.
Take her from just short of 13. Always got a chance.
Played with Alexander on the first day. Very impressive player. Very hard worker too.
Great year, isn't he? Winning tournaments, riding off Porsches.
Nice to be able to afford them, isn't it?
Force round this. Well, might have held the line if it's
That's
not the
right.
best,
Again, it wasn't one to have a go at, was it? I mean, he's in the lead. There's no point 3 putting at this stage of the round.
Maybe tomorrow. Monty then to grab a share of
Turns more than
second
you think. Turns more than you think. This putt. Yeah, good putt. Excellent.
4:30 of the round for Colin Montgomery. Beg your pardon, that's a par, isn't it? I'm thinking he's laid up, didn't he, in 3, so. But it must feel almost like a birdie.
Yes, I'm sure it does.
Jose Caceres then, who's
Checker.
steadied the ship. Right, Alexander Checker.
Well, if he holds this, that'll be the first putt we've seen holding this green. A bit left to right, I think. I had a similar line with my chip. I think that was oh damn in Czechoslovakian.
Frustrating, but you know, it's not going to jump out of the hole. That you probably know 6 feet to go, whether it's going in or not.
Well, he stayed with the putt, which tells you he thought it was going to go in, and so many of the putts on this course, unless they're right in the middle, they don't go in. They're so sharp, the edges of the hole.
2 bogeys in a row then. Jose Rivera at 16.
Looks like he's got a bit of mud on the ball there, which doesn't help.
He's yet to record a bogey, has Rivera. Came close at 15, hold that longish putt back up the hill. Now force round at 13.
Strange putter he's using there, Steve. I haven't seen him use that before. I don't know.
Well, he used it to win in the German Masters. He's had it in the bag since the Scandinavian Masters. And there's a guy by the side of the practice putting green got a bag full of them. Have you tried one?
I've tried one. It just looks hideous when you put it behind the ball. But Anders is using it to good effect, isn't he, the last few weeks?
Tony Johnson thought it looked like the Flying Nun.
It does, yeah. Looks like a branding iron, I think.
He was them then at 14 and again. One of those putts. This one may be for par. It is for par. It was short in 2 and not the best chip.
Right to left.
Quite well down here. Wobbly's saying it's right to left, and I think I'll agree with him. It's only just though.
Straight at the bottom, just what he does at the start.
He'd love to give this a firm rap at the hole, but you're risking the 4-footer back, so he's got to get it clear in his own mind what he wants to do.
Costantino Rocca's in with around a 71. Will start tomorrow at 2 over. Not out of it yet. Jesper Parnevik had a 70, and he's 1 over. And again, as you say, Rocca, Parnevik, both class players, could come through.
Yeah. And it goes the other way.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Come on.
It's a question of can Forsbrand just keep churning out the pars.
I think that's what he needs to do today, certainly. Just get in with a lead. It's so treacherous the last few holes. Now then.
Well, Wayne Riley stood on the 15th tee on the first day, equal third and 1 under, and finished with a 78. Now what's happening here then Jamie?
Being a real expert on the rules, he's trying to determine his nearest point of relief, I would guess. Or perhaps he was in the bush. Who knows? Doing a bit of gardening here, I think.
So he's in the bushes. He's taken a penalty drop. If his nearest point of relief is on the road, does he have to drop it on the track? He'll start
I was hoping you were going to tell me.
I'll get a phone call from Bruce Adams in Geneva after the show. He'll tell me exactly what it is. But they've got local rules, haven't they? And they haven't called for a referee yet. Perhaps
normally, if you're within a certain area of the pathway, you get a free drop. So they're probably trying to determine that, or he might be trying to take a penalty drop. Jose Rivera is a little bit right to left, not an easy putt.
First bogey of the day.
That's a pity.
Michael Johnson got a 7 at the 70th. We saw him go back into the water.
Yeah. I think we need Mark James down there today. He's a gardener. He'll be able to tell us what's going on. Or David Bellamy.
Maybe down there.
Now Guy Hunt's coming down the path now, so
Is the marshals in town?
Figure out what the nearest point is.
Let's have a listen to what they say.
Start off with.
Good to find what is the edge of the...
Well, that's one thing, and then I'd have to get stands and then go further over than it's still here.
But if you're on the pathway, you have to drop the ball on the nearest side, not nearer the hole.
So he may have been on the pathway, and maybe
And he may have to drop it in the
bushes.
he may have to drop it in the bushes. And they're trying to determine where the edge of the path is on that side.
So Bernhard Langer at the moment needing to finish first or second to take the #1 ranking in Europe.
It's becoming very interesting, isn't it? I mean, even Sam could come through tomorrow and with 68 or 67 or something and pip it.
Yeah, so it'd be over there, wouldn't it? At this point.
And guys agreeing with him, Steve.
Rightly so. But I think he's in big trouble.
I think so.
Ryan Montgomery, perfect tee shot at 18.
For someone who can't fade it, is it a good draw? For someone who can't draw it,
Yeah, he can do it when he has to.
he can, yeah. Pin's tucked way back left here. Middle of the green. Difficult flag to get at today. You feel if you're aiming in the bunker when you're hitting at the flag.
So it's all starting to look good for Colin Montgomery and for Anders Forsbrand, but so every hole is a potential disaster hole.
Yeah, you can make bogeys and double bogeys, and 17th, anything can happen on the 17th, but Anders knows the course better than anybody out here. So I think he's aware of the pitfalls and seems to be hitting all the fairways, which is a big thing. This is probably about an 8 or 9 iron up the hill. Flag's only 6 yards on the green. Maybe come off it a little bit. Good shot. Below the hole, might just come off the green, but even so, he's putting up the hill.
We dropped in the club length, Josh.
Yeah, club length. Obviously, I'll drop it so you're not going to stand on the road, so you have a club length.
Maybe, okay.
You can drop it near
Is
it.
he going back on the
You
line?
can re-drop it, so...
Looks like it's a free drop anyway.
Yeah. Well, it might be an escape then. Yeah, it may well have been on the road.
If it goes onto the road, then you can drop it.
There, that's his nearest point of relief off the road, then a club length from
That's right.
nearest point of relief.
It's the nearest point of relief, and you take club length from that point.
Because Guy Hunt was involved at the start of the incident with Sevi last year. So one thing I got absolutely right, so there's no way Guy Hunt will do this decision. John Paramore's going to have to be involved. But,
He called for the reserves, didn't he?
well, again, these top players, they do know the rules, and on
They do.
occasion they make it work for them, and that's...
You've got to know the rules, and they work against you enough, so you've got to use them when they're for your
You
advantage.
can drop it if you are. If you are, so... Yeah.
I think Bernard's trying to drop it that close, because maybe that's where the better grass is, and that's the lie he can get.
Yeah.
If he drops it a little bit further down the hill, maybe the grass is a little bit thicker. So he's he wants to play the ball from where it lies. But if he stands on the road, then he'd have to re-drop it.
So that's why he's trying to define where the edge of the road
That's
is.
right. You
because
have to
it's very
take
close.
total relief.
Well, this shaker. Number 14th.
Got my hairstyle. Good shot.
He was told last month or earlier this month went with some friends to a beer festival, I think, down in Germany. They wouldn't let him in. They thought he was a skinhead with that. All his friends went in and had a few beers, and he had to stay outside.
Yeah. 1 week he has a long ponytail, and then 2 weeks later he shaves it all off. Quite a character.
No, he's not. And did you see Jarmo Sandelin's latest? You wouldn't see it. He now uses his driver like a drum majorette twirling. He can actually twirl it walking down the fairway.
Nothing would surprise me.
Almost Sandelin, the first Swede in space. But,
That's all right.
but I think he's going to get Rookie of the Year. And,
Yeah, he deserves it. He's a hell of a character. Great to watch. He's good for the tour. Well, there you can see the top of the flag. He's a great pitcher of the ball. So wouldn't surprise me if he still makes 3.
And it is a free drop off that road.
Yes, it
he
is.
only went the 1 club length.
That's
if it was
right.
a penalty, it would have been 2.
Yeah. He's going to make sure he doesn't stand on the path, because you actually have to take full relief. So
So I'm touching the thing again here.
there you go.
You may have to re-drop, which you can do. It's Guy Hunt's
Yeah,
told him he
that's
can do
no-
that.
Just on it with my fake.
He obviously doesn't really want to drop it because he's probably got quite a good lie. Or if he drops it further back, he hasn't got a backswing. One or the other. So he's re-dropping.
He only needs a couple of inches, doesn't he?
Bernard will not hurry, and he'll make sure he gets it right.
So we go back to 14 and Anders Forsbrand to go 5 under. So up the hill.
So all he needs to do, he's just got to be patient.
Bernhard happy with his drop now.
Very unusual to see Bernard hit that wide with the shot. Oh, hasn't come out at all. That's the problem with this type of grass. You just don't know how the ball. Sometimes the club just goes straight underneath the ball. Other times it just flies out. So, even for a man of Bernard's quality with his chipping, those sort of things can happen.
If anyone can handle the setback and come back, it's
Sure.
Langer mentally. So
Well, he knows a
strong.
4's not a total disaster, so he can chip and putt for a 4's will keep him going.
Well, Conor Montgomery's had a little bit of a rush at the birdie attempt at 18. And he's got this one now for a 69.
Hasn't been off the leaderboard all year, Monty. It's just incredible golf he's played this year.
And that's again looking very strong, and you wouldn't put much money against him tomorrow.
Well, he's the obvious favourite. He's the one the other two have got to beat. Trying to quiet the crowd down.
Just wonder if it was our cameraman the way the pictures went all
yeah.
shaky. But obviously he's saying, well, come on, there's someone else playing
That's
here as
right.
well. I think it was crowds were starting to move away.
Great shot.
So 4 wouldn't be so bad.
He's got a tricky 5-footer, but he makes a 4. It's not too bad.
This is Sven Struve for birdie at 17. You get an idea of that ridge that's around.
This is the putt that I had earlier, and it comes from the right. Good try. Quite a slope he's walking up there. You can't quite see it too well on the TV there, but it's a couple of feet in height.
See the weight on the 15th tee. Well, Bernhard Langer was taking his time.
Well, you need a weight on that tee because you climb up a huge big hill to get to the 15th tee. It's elevated.
But it's not what Forsbrand will want, because Woosnam and Caceres have to play. So he's probably got a 15-minute wait there, up there by the time he actually gets to play. He's been there sort of a couple of minutes already.
I'll have a chat and have a drink. Get a banana out.
Don't move. Stand still.
Wobbly will be boring them about Sheffield Wednesday probably.
Yeah, that's good coming from an Arsenal fan. Right, David Gilbert then, long putt down the green. And they're playing some football this year.
We're playing some good stuff, don't worry. And David's got the putter out, which is quite normal for him. He prefers to use a putter when he's just off the edge. Just got to go through a couple of feet of fringe. Very difficult to judge the pace. As I say, you really want to try and get it past the hole and putt up the hill. You don't want to leave it 4 or 5 feet short. Goes on forever.
What about this? Oh! Now what a bonus now.
Yeah, it would have been a bonus had it hit the flag. It would have easily popped in.
He could miss, Langer could hold, and they end up both with 4s.
Yeah.
They couldn't play the holes much different.
That's right, Dave slits his wrist on the way to the next tee. An easy half. Look at that.
That was in the hole now.
Yeah, the holes are so sharp that those sort of putts aren't going in.
And Struve for his par at 17.
Level par, he's still in well in contention.
In a quiet way, he's had a very good season. He's
Yes, he
touring
has.
pro from Penhalonga and in Portugal, and although he hasn't won, and I think he felt he would be the second German to win after Bernhard Langer. Alexander Cheika stolen the march on him, but I mean, Struve I think the win will come for Struve.
It will do, he's a strong player. He's had a good season. You just got to be patient. Yeah, there's the
There is a
banana. A litre of water and the computer's back programmed.
Of course, you don't mind the weight if your closest rival, if you see him drop 2 shots
No,
ahead of you.
That's right. The Sanders won't be mind waiting on the tee. Left to right putt. Didn't move.
Double bogey for Langer. And he's back to level par. He's in the way for Forsbrand, and without in any way wishing him bad fortune, if he has a bad hole, the tournament's right open again.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting how many people are actually under par at the end of the week. Colin Montgomery's position on that leaderboard is looking stronger all the time.
Well, they do give it a statistic during the course of the season where par would be in the order of merit. At the moment it's 27th, but there's always Valderrama to come, and par is always a score that most players would take at the start of the week.
Certainly take par around Valderrama every year. It'd be interesting if they did a statistic to the standard scratch.
Yeah.
So sort of a scratch handicap, what he would win every year.
Good three for Gilbert, no more than he deserved.
Absolutely. Just seems to dribble those into the middle of the hole every time. And just wanders off.
And I tell you, that round of Ulrik Johansson, the 66, that's a great feeling to post that early and just sit in the players' lounge around the clubhouse and just watch it get better and better.
Absolutely. I mean, he wasn't really involved in the tournament, was he, this morning? And suddenly he's come through the pack, which can happen here, and he's got a chance really tomorrow to win the tournament.
Yeah. See the crowds backed up there. Look, they're around 17.
Yes, they're waiting for the fireworks. You just hit your drive as hard as you can over the left-hand trees here at 18. That's the favoured route, and there we go. That's the chance you take. Well, he's come out okay.
We talked about Jarmo Sandlin earlier, and he played his second shot from almost in the lake on the 10th. They hit it so wide, but he got a 5, and he's had a pretty good round. Anders Forsbrand then, long wait on the 15th tee for Forsbrand, but it's been good news while he's been waiting. He's seen Bernhard Langer drop 2 shots and back into the pack on level par. It's still anybody's tournament. You're watching it live on Eurosport. Welcome back. Live from Valderrama, the 3rd round of the Volvo Masters. I'm Steve Beddoe, and with me in the commentary box, Jamie Spence and Sven Struve. Before the break, we saw his tee shot at 18 clatter into the trees, and he's got a little bit lucky.
Yeah, he's come out just onto the sort of semi-rough. Ball looks to be lying okay. He's probably still got enough 200 yards to go, and he'll have to hit a bit of a drawing, hooking type shot to get it up to the green, to the flag, certainly. There you go, he's trying to roll the right hand over and get it turning. That's a super shot from where he was.
Great shot.
Unlucky he didn't release a bit further up the green. About a 3-iron by the looks of it.
He's had a very steady round, picked up shots, 2 of them in the front 9, and he's just dropped the 1 shot with a bogey at 13. That's his Jose Rivera at 17, where Paul Eels hit his 3rd into the water.
Yeah, beautiful shot from Jose.
So Eels, he hit the top of the bank, it was never long enough, and back and at drop 4. He's played 5, this is for a bogey 6.
Yeah, like so many others have gone into that water. I've been in there twice as well. This is the same putt that I had this morning. It's right to left, you've got to hit it up the hill. And sort of putt you really want to lag, but Paul will be trying to hold it. That's all that will be in his mind. Just going to tail off.
Desperate feeling when you've been working so hard, and Paul had a good week in Berlin and came here a couple of level par 71s, grinning from ear to ear yesterday, and he's kept patient, and he's made 1 mistake, and he's walking off with a double bogey.
That's the golf course all over him. He's probably played very well today. He's level par for the day, was he, today?
Well, yeah, he was 1 over for the day.
1 over today, which is still very good golf. Still well in touch, and 1 mistake and feel you're slipping away from him. You've got the difficult 18th hole to play.
And he's also coached by Eddie Birchner from Royal Livingston Downs, who's probably walking around. He said, if you think playing is difficult, just when you're the coach and just watch and not be able to do anything, he said it's even harder.
Yes, I couldn't watch.
You can see that round of 68 from Mark James is looking pretty good.
Yes, Chairman James is creeping up the leaderboard.
It's going to keep him out of the commentary box tomorrow because he's going to be involved in the final groups. Well, the Spanish starting to get behind Rivera because that's a birdie, and Rivera's gone to 1 under. And there may be no Seve, there may be no Jose Maria, but there's still a Spanish presence, still a Spanish challenge. Woosnam deciding to chip. I mean,
This is what I did this morning. It's very difficult. We've seen enough of this shot, haven't we? It's a lovely
that's a beauty.
shot.
That is
it's
a beauty.
shot. Excellent.
Probably feels more confident with chipping than putting.
Yeah. Well, from that range, it's most of us are really trying to loft the ball onto the green and let it roll down, rather than putting through that slightly longer grass. Feel like you've got more control over the ball.
Well, still a long wait for Anders Forsbrand, still waiting back on the 15th tee there.
There's Colin Byrne, his caddy for me when I won in Switzerland. He just came back onto the tour a few weeks ago and won with Forsbrand, so...
You've got Jim Payne's regular caddy on the bag this week.
Yes, he's a Cockney fella, and he's talking rhyming slang to me all the way around. I can't understand what he's saying.
Well, here's Bernhard Langer on the British, isn't he?
Yes.
British
Airways.
Fairways. And he's hit it onto the Hubert.
He's hit it onto the Hubert. Excellent shot.
American player Hubert Green, he says, make sure you don't hit it in the Allen.
Alan Rough.
Alan Rough. Scottish
And so it
golf,
goes on and on. I've banned him now because I keep laughing. Simple tap in for Woozy. Thank you.
And you were around today with Wayne Riley, who's always good company.
Well, I haven't laughed as much today as I have for a long time. He had quite a bad start and was laughing his head off, and he did well actually in the end.
Guilford. He doesn't miss many fairways, but here he is in perfect position at 16.
Just pushed that, probably only had about an 8 iron into the green there, so it's not a great shot from Dave, especially as he's left himself above the hole.
Jose Caceres playing with Ian Woosnam, bogeyed 15.
Well,
Yeah, and that's,
down with Langer.
that must be the German way.
Must be. They've also had a team meeting and said we've got to keep it below the hole.
Actually, don't know if you, we may see it in a moment, but there was a ball nestling pretty close to the pin on 16 as the ball came in from David Guilford. So it looks like Bernhard Langer straight back in the groove. Sven Struve up the green for birdie at 18.
Very nicely judged.
And that will be a tidy round of 70. Big shot now after the long wait for Anders Forsbrand.
Suits him this course because he's a good long iron player, very strong, so he doesn't hit as much club as the rest of us. Probably a 3 iron even for Anders. Trying to cut it down there.
I wonder if he's hit it hard enough. He hasn't. That's a wretched spot.
Well, that's the line we all sort of aim at, and Anders has been unlucky to go a bit too far, and he's in the thicker colour rough, which is very, very difficult.
If you drop it a bit shorter, we'll then start to work down.
It can do if you get a little bit of slide on it, but the problem is the wind's a little bit off the right and pushes it out that way.
Guilford then for birdie at 16. Langer's pretty close.
Very fast down the hill. That's a pretty good putt from David.
Howard Clark and Sandy Lyle playing together. Howard Clark, a Ryder Cup man as well, 73, and Sandy Lyle, 72.
Still well in touch.
Clark 3 over, Lyle 2 over.
Sandy's one round here again. It suits him, being a good long iron player.
You know, if he could produce a 66, it would be a special round, but a 66 tomorrow, who would know?
It's possible, isn't it?
Yeah. Forecast is pretty good. Run more of the same, and occasionally it's rained pretty heavily when we've been down in Valderrama.
Always seems to rain, yeah. We've had fantastic weather this week, and it's been virtually the same every day, and yet we couldn't have had better weather, and the scoring's still very...
Well, of course, they've had a drought as well, so times they had to stop watering the course, and a lot of the courses on the Costa del Sol are completely burned up because they couldn't get any water on them.
Saw a few of them on the way down from the airport, and they looked as if they were struggling a little bit.
But it is this area of Spain. It's one that's come back as a holiday destination for golf. The green fee's got a bit unrealistic at one stage, but now
they're all coming down now, aren't they?
They're competitive again. Yes.
There's just so many courses down there. They've got to become a bit more competitive.
Yeah.
Very quick putt from Bernard down the hill. He's got to keep it just down the left side. Come on. There you go, just didn't come for him.
He's just not getting the lines at the moment, is he?
You've just got to be fractions out, and it can make you look silly sometimes in these greens. Then you get a little bit frustrated.
Who's it, 16? That's such a good looking swing.
Great rhythm. Ball just gets in the way, doesn't it? And just sweeps it through.
Yeah.
That's a perfect position he's put himself in there. Oh, Bernard.
3 putts and the wheels coming off for Bernhard Langer. Just 2 left on the wagon now.
You've got to feel sorry for him there. I mean,
double bogey.
I think that's just a result of the 15th hole. It just can even knock the stuffing out of someone like Bernhard Langer.
It's looking better for Anders Forsbrand. It's looking perhaps even better for Colin Montgomery.
I think Monty's very, very happy with the way he's is at the moment. Just sitting in there having a cup of tea or something.
That's not taking it away from the big fella as well. 69 is pretty good golf.
Very
He
good
kept
golf.
patient with his 72 yesterday and just said, well, nothing happened. And maybe
Hasn't
tomorrow.
done anything disastrous, has he?
No.
He's not going to lose it.
It's 5 shots clear of Sam Torrance. And now 2 shots clear of Bernhard Langer. David Guilford. Nice tidy par.
Nothing spectacular from Gilly, but he's still right bang in there.
Bernhard Langer's challenge is on the slide. He has the ability to come back. But Anders Forsbrand has got a tricky second at 15 from above the pin, left side. Round of the day, Per-Ulrik Johansson with a 66. It's a round which is looking better and better. And look out for Colin Montgomery. Could he be Europe's #1 for the 3rd year running? Alexander Chayka for a par at 15. You can just see the ball marker of Anders Forsbrand. He's played 3, left his chip from the above the green short and his putt down to there. So he's going to drop at least 1 shot. Leads at the moment by 3. Chayka stays at level par. He made a birdie at 14 and 2 threes in a row. With me in the commentary box, Jamie Spence, who's been out all 3 days playing Valderrama. He's working out. He's at 33rd in the list at the moment. I'm looking to maybe get up into the top 20 tomorrow.
Yeah, if I should have sub-par round tomorrow, I might squeeze up to the 20th spot, something like that.
And this Forsbrand playing 4, and that's confidently done it. If that had been a couple of feet longer, that putt.
It would have been very tricky because it's severely sloped down towards the hole. But 4, he's not going to be too unhappy, really. It's sort of hole, you make 3, you feel like it's a birdie.
Well, Colin Montgomery in with the 69, and 2 years ago he came and pipped Nick Faldo for the #1 spot and scooped 125,000 for winning the Volvo Masters and 125,000 from the Volvo bonus pool. £250,000 pay week, and he's got a great chance of doing it again.
Yes, he has. Have a nice winter at home with that under your belt. And what does Bernard do here? I feel he's too far back to have a go at it, but it's in that sort of range where he'd like to have a go at it.
Just working out the yardage, and he's certainly not taking. He's taking his time, isn't he?
I think he's going to have a go at it. I think just had a double bogey. He really wants to get it back on track.
If he'd gone par, he probably would have laid up.
I think you're right. He needs to make a birdie here.
And he doesn't gamble that much, does he, Bernhard?
No,
So
he had a great shot in the Irish Open there on the playoff at Barry Lane. A similar sort of shot, wasn't it?
it's the Marshalls in the way.
In the crowd, please.
It's a great hole for the public to view, this hole.
Well, in the Ryder Cup, it could be a terrific hole, because if you're faced with the dilemma, do you go for it or not?
Sure.
What Bernhard's doing, yes, he might get a birdie, but he has a chance of dropping even more shots.
The only good thing about when you're going for it in 2 is that if you do hit in the water, you can still make a 5. And if you lay up and then happen to hit in the water, you're facing 6 or 7.
But he is one of the best players in the world.
Absolutely.
He won't be seeing the water, and only be seeing the green.
That's a good shot.
And he had enough club anyway.
Yeah. Didn't leave any of it behind, I don't think, but...
Well, the Ryder Cup here in 1997, and if you missed it yesterday, the ticket information is tickets for the Ryder Cup at Valderrama on sale from May through postal applications. A post office box number will be made available to you around about February, March time. And don't worry, on Eurosport we'll give you that information, but it's no good trying to get hold of tickets at the moment. They won't be available to May, and there will be tickets that are admission only, and there will be packages if you want accommodation, but if you want to travel independently, make your own arrangements. Make them early, but you can do that. Nice to see you in the team, James.
Not sure I could cope with all that stress.
There's Anders Forsbrand, who may be in. I certainly think there'll be more than one Swede in the side.
Just may have leaked that down the right a bit too much. No, that's fine.
He's okay even though he's in the light semi?
Yeah, he should just about have a shot to the green. He might have a couple of trees to contend with, but he can just chop one round. It's not too bad.
Just feeling a bit of pressure for... That's what you feel, pressure all week long, but he's just showing on his expression for the...
Although he's much more relaxed than maybe he was in the past.
Woosnam hasn't had the best of days, but it might just be turning into a day where he can start to think, well, I've got a chance again tomorrow. He's back to level par.
Birdie on the next hole and bang in there.
And then a par is in for 71, but he won't be getting carried away just yet. Jose Rivero found sand with his second at 18. Paul Eales made a par, 74 for Eales. And Rivero going to drop a shot in 70, level par. Again, he's still in it. So rather a mixed finish for Jose. 2 bogeys in the last 3 holes, but overall you take 70 every time. Now, David Guilford.
Gilly's had a very good drive here. He's down the right-hand side. Probably only got about 225 to the flag. Going with that 5 wood that he used in the Ryder Cup on the last hole. Ooh.
Hard bounce.
That was very unlucky.
Just very firm bounce on that. I mean, I know it's a 5 wood, but it's about the same result in a way of as at Oak Hill.
Although he hasn't got the water to contend with that bunker shot, as we've seen Michael Johnson earlier.
And there's Forsbrand then, 2 ahead of Oruki Hansen, Sweden, first and second. Colin Montgomery going well. David Guilford, a few problems at 17, but he has only played 2, so should at worst be at 5. Sven Struve reinforcing the German challenge, in fact leading it now with Bernhard Langer having his problems. And Ian Woosnam right back in the tournament after that birdie at 16.
It's exactly the bunker I hit in this morning, and he looks like he's got the same lie, so he's going to only be able to get a wedge or maybe a 9-iron out down the fairway for Ian there.
You see Colin Montgomery is now favourite to win the Volvo Order of Merit, but it's been changing all week long, and Sam Torrance, although he's 5 shots behind, 5 shots can disappear pretty quickly, more
can on this course
than anywhere else, yeah.
And remember, Sam has to tie with Monty. It's not a case of Sam having to beat Monty, so Sam can get out there early tomorrow, make a few birdies on the front 9. He's surprised us all year, Sam, with his golf. You just think, well, he can't win again, and he goes out there and does it.
Won 3 times in the best golf of his life, let's say. Also become a father for the 3rd time, and Alfred Dunhill Cup, Ryder Cup. What a year.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Very busy, on and off the course. And he had a great Ryder Cup too, let's not forget that.
Yeah, and he went into it, and there were those who said, well, he hasn't got the best of records. And I think he knew that, but he came through, was it 3 points out of 5?
He proved the doubters, didn't he? He's been playing great golf all year, and he carried it through to the Ryder Cup. It was great to see.
Because he would have said, well, I didn't have the best record in the Ryder Cup, but I was playing great players most of the time. And you look at who he had played, and fair enough, fair comment.
I've played Sam match play quite a few times, and it's surprised me his record anyway, because he's such a good match player, especially when you're playing for a few quid.
And a lot of Gary Evans was in this commentary box earlier in the year, and he said, well, do you realise it? You know, when he was winning his first tournament, Gary was about a year old, and I mean, he's been at the top for so long, and all the younger players sort of look up to him.
Yes, I remember watching Sam when I come home from school in my shorts.
He was 23 at the time.
Yeah.
Anders Forsbrand, is it? You got to slide it around the trees.
He just got to slide a little bit. You can see the overhanging branches there, but he's fortunate because the flag's cut on the left-hand side, so you can just, it's just a soft little fade, maybe a little 7-iron, just chop it around the trees. That's exactly what he's done. But he's carved it a lot more than I thought he would. Unlucky.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now with the pin, was it only 9 paces on?
It's a difficult chip, but it's chipping up the hill, and Anders is a very good short game. I think
he played like a bunker shot. Will he try and play?
yeah, just play a little soft shot with a sand arm.
Well, the Tour Championship over in Oklahoma. Brad Bryant leading that now at the halfway stage. Vijay Singh going well. Corey Pavin, the US Open champion, Greg Norman. And plenty of the United States Ryder Cup players up there seem to have started to recover from the shock.
Yeah, I think they're getting over it slowly. They did look shell-shocked, didn't they? Big drive from Checker. Only been a little 9-iron. And he's come up short as well.
Okay. He's okay. He's a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, but he's putting from there, as you say. The flag's only on the front, so he's still got a realistic birdie chance. Now, this isn't easy. Super shot.
Whoa.
Now that's how difficult it is. He's played that so well, David, and whoa down.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Just. And it looked like
Probably the longest 5 seconds a David give off his life.
And it looked a good shot, didn't it?
It was a good shot.
It looked a good shot. It looked like it was going to go to about a foot, 2 feet.
Peter Coleman's just having a look at
Oh,
DK's.
dear. Quick, David, run down there and mark it. And this isn't so easy either. The problem is it's come off a downslope, so it's difficult to stop the ball.
He just killed it into the bank.
And again, it's going to go down the slope.
No, that's away. That is. Oof.
I mean, it just shows that it can make these guys look silly, really, doesn't it, Steve? That's how difficult the golf course is.
There's the view of Jose Caceres, who's having a well-deserved rest. He's just gone bogey.
Meditating. He makes a lot of birdies, Jose.
Only had 2 today, and he's 6 over.
2 today is a lot on this golf course.
You had 2?
I had 2, that was a lot. I didn't have any yesterday, and it feels like forever until your next birdie.
So expats down here, and one of them, Stan Moxon, I know you'll be watching, and gave me a ring and left a telephone number. I think they got the number wrong, Stan. If you want to ring the press centre, I'll give you a ring after the show. He'll be on this grounds for free.
He's taking you out for a meal, Steve, is he? Nice freebie.
He used to be a professional footballer, and he's a professional golf bandit these days.
They all are down here, I think.
Yeah,
what do you play off? About 14.
Yeah.
Two putts, David. It's not the end of the world. Get up.
That might turn.
Well, nearly stone dead. Doesn't get fazed by things happening to him, David. He seems to wander along in his own world. Very strong mentally.
Good shot for Anders Forsbrand.
The club just went straight under it.
Up against a wee spike mark as well.
Yeah.
And it's game on. That's we thought it might be.
It's becoming a bunched finish. Forsbrand drops a shot on 16, and the whole host of players can win the tournament.
Yes, he's led almost from the gun, but the pressure starting to mount, and
That's
probably
tough.
even more pressure on him being the touring pro for Valderrama, all the members wanting him to do well.
The expectation.
Now slow down.
And when you've just gone double bogey, that's not what you want.
If he misses this, I mean, I wonder when the last time Langer dropped 4 shots in 3 holes. Maybe never.
Last time he missed a cut, I should think. Very deceptive where that flag is on the 16th hole. It doesn't look like it should swing that much. And we've seen everybody go that way from short of the flag. And Werner's caught in two minds there on the front. He wants to have a go at the birdie putt. At the same time, I'm sure he knows that if he just 2 pars in, he's not too bad, and he's still got a chance to win the tournament. So you're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Good stroke there.
One this time, so saved his par, stops the rot, still one over. Expression just the same.
You're just mumbling, there's hit 2 good shots and can't get the ball to within 10 foot of the flag with the chip. And he's one of the best chippers in the world.
The president, Jimmy Patino, has promised he's going to make this course difficult for the Americans. That's probably the easy part. The hard part is making it easy for the Europeans.
Well, this 17th hole's had more facelifts than Liz Taylor. Every year it's different. Well done, David. But it's certainly exciting. Hence all the galleries are massed around the green.
It's a real local effort. The Ryder Cup and O's from Sotogrande have come up the hill this week. They're getting very involved in getting the car parking ready.
It must be very exciting for all the people who live down here and all the members of the golf clubs.
Now, Forsbrand. The line's good. Has he got the pace? He hasn't. Bogey, bogey. And Forsbrand back to 2 under, and the lead now is only 1. And I wonder, could there be a Swede leading at the end of the day? And it might be Per-Orik Johansson with Colin Montgomery. Alexander Chayka made his par 4 at level par, you see. We recorded Forsbrand dropping his shot, and let's move forward because Chayka's made his 4 and only 2 shots off the pace. And on the 18th tee, David Guilford just 1 behind. Fierce dogleg left. Tightest of drives.
David flies the ball quite high and he's a very straight driver, so expect him just to take the edge of the trees on. Oh, he had a go at that one.
He lost his balance
He
a bit.
did. It's very unusual, isn't it, to see David swinging it like that. He's hit it down the right, and that's not the place to hit it. Even though you're on the fairway, you've got the trees in front of you. But he has the added advantage that the flag's on the left-hand side, so it's very unusual to see David jump off his feet the one like that.
Well, the situation, Forsbrand by 1 from Johansson and Montgomery in the clubhouse, and Guilford right side, 18.
Per-Orik must think. Per-Orik, sorry, Steve, must think it's his birthday, mustn't he?
It was a good round of golf. He didn't have a single bogey out in 34, and he came back in 32.
Excellent play. Langer's going with the 3-wood here. Just trying to get it in the middle. He's not going to take the trees on down the left. He's just going to try and get it down the middle of the fairway. Keep short of the right-hand trees.
Got the 12 and it's gone left. He has the 12, it's gone left, I
He's
think.
just trying to hold it up. Just flick through the trees and now he's perfect. Just trying to keep the club face as square as he can through the ball as long as possible to save it turning over.
Forsbrand, is he?
Oh, that's okay.
Can he take the hold on?
Yeah, he can. Just depends if he's on a slight downslope or an upslope.
There's Woosnam's 2nd, and he's back in this tournament. Important shot. Did he hit it a little way to the right?
That's his 3rd, Steve. He came out the bunker, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he
Oh,
was.
that's a
Absolutely
super
right.
shot.
What a 3rd shot.
What a shot. And to stop it on that green, it seems to be the firmest green on the course. Super shot.
There's a chance of making birdie. Anders Forsbrand, though. Bogey, bogey. Game on at Valderrama. Anders Forsbrand still the leader, but only by 1 from fellow Frenchman Per-Orik Johansson. Johansson with that 66. Colin Montgomery looking to be Europe's #1 for the 3rd year running. A 69. Good rounds also from Sven Struve and Jose Rivero and Ian Woosnam with a birdie chance at 17. Can he make it? Well, we'll find out after the break. Join us again at Valderrama then. Well, there's the face of Ola Carlsen, and the reason you're looking at him, not because he's particularly good looking, but he made an eagle at the 17th today, an eagle 3. And this is Ian Woosnam for a birdie. Remember, he drove into the bunker. But a superb 3rd shot. If he makes it, he's only 1 off the pace. And he made 1 at 16 now. Suddenly, he looks surprised, doesn't he?
It's nice to see him holding some putts.
Well, that's the key. Tee to green has not been so much wrong, except when the pressure gets to him from the putting.
Just a frustration, Steve, more than anything else.
There's Bernhard Langer, 2nd to the 18th.
Great shot.
Oh, see,
Great
class shot. And yeah, Langer's had a horrible run. He's had 3 5s in a row, dropped 3 shots the last 3 holes, and he's probably going to finish with a birdie, and he's probably going to finish level par.
He will not give in, will he?
That's Forsbrand laying up.
It'd only be a wedge shot, 9-iron verandas to lay up even. He may be a bit too closer than he'd have liked, but he has got quite a bit of green to pitch the ball up.
You would think that the worst he can take is a 5 here.
You would think so.
There's just in the background Barry Sterling, who's one of the members here at Valderrama, and
full-time professional amateur, isn't he?
I think
Barry.
I played with him in the Pro-Am at Islantia, just down the coast.
Played with him here in the Pro-Am a couple of years ago. He's a good friend of Tony Jacqueline's.
Shaker, it looks as if he's going for it. Jose Caceres, by the way, made a 6 here. 3 bogeys in a row for the Argentinian. 7 over for the day. Yeah, no, you just can't really get closer to the pin, can you? If you have to make sure you're long enough to get over the water.
You've got to take enough club, obviously, to get over the water, but with the green being quite firm and there's not much rough to hold the ball at the back of the green, that's where you're going to end up. And we've seen David Gilbert play a very good bunker shot and nearly go in the water. What he'll do from there, I don't know. Maybe he might even just play short into the gully, or depends what lie he's got. If he's got a good lie, he can get a bit of grip on the ball.
This is why Langer has the respect of every other professional in the world of golf, because he doesn't let his problems get to him. He just gets on.
Just carries on in the same mode. And a great shot, just drawing one in, probably about a 6-iron. And a great birdie opportunity.
Well, there's that record. 62, £3,000 last year from
How
Johnny
did he do
Walker.
that, Steve? How did he do that?
Never going to be beaten, is it?
I would.
I just can't see it.
I can't see it. I don't think he knows how he did it.
Of course, anyone that can shoot a 62 around Valderrama deserves to win the tournament, which is exactly what Bernhard did last year.
And the scoring was so much better last year than it has been this year. It's quite noticeable.
Why do you think that?
Well, I was only watching it on TV last year at home, so it was the first Volvo Masters that I missed, but it was incredible how many people were under par, and this year everyone seems to, the scoring's gone back to how it used to be, how I remember it. Maybe Mark James was saying that it was much softer last year and that you could control the ball a lot easier.
Yeah.
People are running through into the rough now and it makes it very difficult.
Well, David Guilford's got a putt, albeit a long one, but about the length you
Yeah,
hold.
this is it. This is the one I hold, Dave. Just a little bit down the left wing. And in she goes.
It's for a share of the lead. It's only just inside Bernhard Langer.
It's a bit of a hill that he just hits up a little bit and then it goes down, and he obviously just didn't quite get it over the hill hard enough.
So we wonder if Anders Forsbrand is a little bit too close into at 17.
Ooh. Well, good shot. It was close to going in the water, wasn't it?
He must have been a bit anxious.
the turf there in front of the 17th is just a little bit tighter than the rest of the course, and it does make it very difficult to get all the ball. And Anders has got a great short game, so...
Bernhard Langer then for a level par 71. Around by his standards has been pretty adventurous. He's had to work hard. And this is, it's not an easy one. I don't think there is an easy putt on this.
No, there aren't any easy putts. They all seem to be putting downhill, and the ball seems to be getting away from you all the time. Well done.
It's got what a good finish.
Excellent.
Out in 34, back in 37, level par 71. And Bernhard Langer has got Anders Forsbrand in his sights, and probably more to the point, he's got Colin Montgomery there as well, just one shot.
That's right, disaster averted. I mean, he could have quite easily had another bogey, couldn't he, after the 15th and 16th, and been 2 or 3 too many shots behind. But now he's got to win or come second, is that right?
Yep.
I'm glad this is Checker playing this shot, not me.
He's really trying to open the club face up. Slightly downhill lie as well.
That's the problem, the downhill lie, you can't get any innovation on it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's gone, hasn't it?
Will it get, if it's down that slope, is it away?
Oh dear.
Oh, it's picking up pace now.
That's very cruel.
Is it in the water? Let's get back and have a look. And maybe
No.
far enough to just hold on him and his slope.
Yes, he's just held on there, but it could have so easily trickled down over that sprinkler head and into the water. You think to yourself, I've hit 2 good shots, and now I've got a tricky chip and putt for a par. And that's what really drives you mad around here. He had a full head of hair before he started this week.
I have a feeling that would have gone on Thursday. I just wonder if they haven't cut it quite so tight.
Well, we saw quite a few balls, didn't we, the first couple of days go on that bailout area, as it's been called, and trickle down into the water. Agonisingly trickling down there.
It does make you commit to the shot. There is no real bailout.
There is no bailout, no. But if somebody can hit it in that little patch where he is, I think they deserve to stay there.
Yeah. David Guilford for a 70.
David showing a rare piece of emotion, smacking his club into his toe, which I've done many times and come off with a black foot. I wouldn't advise it. Very unusual to see him missing those.
It is. He's going to have to settle for a 71, assuming he makes this. And there he is, level par, and for the second day running, David Guilford and Bernhard Langer playing together have had exactly the same score. I wonder they may be out together again tomorrow. We shall see. And in the end, although you're disappointed to finish with a bogey, you walk off and they say, well, that's not a bad score.
Yeah, when he looks at the scores tonight, he'll realise he's still bang in there. So 10 minutes to cool down. If David does cool down, I think he's cooled all the time, I think.
The Roth is went in for Anders Forsbrand. It would have done if he'd hit it. Oh. Just looking to me as if he wants to get a par down the last and get off the course now.
It does. Keep his lead. He's a very experienced player, Anders. He's, he knows what position he is on the golf course. He knows how he's lying in the tournament, and there's a lot of golf to be played, so he won't be panicking.
Someone like David Guilford on the outside appears one of the calmest players on the course. When you walk off and you've had a hard day, and how long does it take you to calm down? And because I often wonder this as a sort of media person that's in the past had to ask people for interviews. I think it's unfair that you sign your card and straight away people want the story, whereas you're a footballer or a tennis player, you can calm down, just get your thoughts.
It's very difficult because you come off the course, you're still in the same concentration zone, you've been through all the emotions and frustrations, especially on a course like this, and people are thrusting pens and papers, and maybe a press man comes up to you, and it's very difficult. Checker. That's a lovely
good five.
Very good five. Feels like he's had about 8 shots there and walked off with a 5.
Eagle 5.
Relief. Someone's going to dive in that lake at the end of the week.
This fourth round, 1 to play, and he's just 1 ahead of Per Ulrich Johansson, Colin Montgomery, and Ian Woosnam. Could it be a happy ending to the year for Woosie? Still a little bit of the story to come. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. The closing action of the third round of the Volvo Masters from Valderrama, live and exclusive on Eurosport. And this is the 18th hole. With me in the commentary box, Jamie Spence. A tough driving hole.
Very difficult. Those trees that were sticking out, is really, you've got to take those on, and then all these trees stick out as well if you're just on the edges of the fairway, so you can't see the flag, and the green is slightly raised above you, and today the flag's in the back left hand part of that kidney-shaped green, and there's plenty of sand waiting for you as well.
Well, Anders Forsbrand has found the middle of the fairway, taking an iron off the tee. Ian Woosnam may have a putt. Well, this putt could be to tie the lead. He's made a couple, can't quite make it 3, but in the end, it's a strong finish, finishing 3-3-4-4 for a 71.
Great finish from Ian.
Anders Forsbrand, we told you, in the middle of the fairway. Alexander Chaker, I think he's gone left. The bunkers you're looking down at are the bunkers in play on the left-hand side of the 10th.
Jarmo Sandland was just right of that Volvo car in the lake and nearly hit me as I was walking down the 10th. So,
you don't expect that. Maybe the municipal, but not at Valderrama. Now, was saying conceding that putt for him, and he didn't let us down. Back in 34, 2 under par. A very strong back 9 from Ian Woosnam. You see that ratty run of bogeys 7, 8 and 9, but he'd probably be pleased with that, the way he's come back and not thrown in the towel.
Absolutely, and that little run of 7, 8, 9, they're difficult holes. They're holes you're just looking to par. Very difficult to get the ball on the fairways, and all 3 of those holes, so he's come back well on the back 9.
It has not been a good day for Jose Caceres. Although he parred at 18, it's 78 for the Argentinian, and he'll be looking forward now at 6 over to catching the plane back to Argentina tomorrow.
Where's the ball?
He might even be going to the World Cup in a few weeks' time in China, so that's a hell of a trip.
Yeah, a lot of the players are going across to Atlanta for the Gene Saracen World Open, and Mark James is going, and Wayne Riley.
Played there last year. I only qualified for the 1 year, and they've got a couple of signature holes over there where they've copied 2 holes of the Augusta, and it's quite interesting playing there. Very American type course. And has left himself quite a long way back, but to say he's a very good long iron player.
You can see how those 2 bogeys have just bunched up the pack.
Yeah.
He's a par here for a 73 today.
So it looks like a long iron, maybe a 4 iron, maybe a 3 iron. He must have at least 210 yards to go. It looks like right shoulder come up quite high. It's
bunkers up the
cut
right hand
away.
side, and he's
So
carried those. Not bad.
Not as bad as it looked.
He's got the right shoulder in the end, just to
Yes,
try and hang on
just
to
about.
it. Though you wonder if the momentum, I have to wonder this on a third round, if you start to slip back, you've then got to be mentally very strong, because the momentum's going away from you. Others are coming through.
Yeah, well, he's been up there the whole way, and I haven't been in that position where I've led for all those rounds, but he's in the pressure cooker the whole time. Especially, we have a redraw after the first round, so the leaders go out last in the second round, and it makes it seem like a longer week in some respects as being out late in the field.
You see, and so yesterday, Alexander Chaker with that 66 could come in and just sit there in the clubhouse and watch his score get better and better as the leaders are looking at the leaderboard, just looking at each other and just...
When you play later in the field, you feel like you should play better and you feel like you should be on the board. And when things don't go that way, it becomes more frustrating and you try even harder. Well, he's hit quite a big drive here and it's gone a long way left. But
Forsbrand himself was in that bunker in the first round and managed to get up to the back of the green and up and down for a 4 on at 68. Depends on the trees, I guess.
it does. It depends on whether he's got a line through them. He won't be hitting too much club. Should be able to work something around them. Some Czechoslovakian crowd there. Great shot.
What a stunning shot. There'll be a few Germans as well supporting him and Langer down on this part of the coast.
Oh, it's nice to see him. We've got a big tournament now in Czechoslovakia, so hopefully we'll get a few more Czechs out on the tour.
That was a great shot. So who do you fancy for tomorrow? We have to see if Forsbrand can go up and down. Who would your money be on? Because you like the odd flutter, don't you?
Yes, now and again I've been known to have a bet, Steve, and well, Colin Montgomery is the favourite. There's no doubt about that. I can't tell you who's going to win, but I'll just say anybody who beats Colin, I think will win the golf tournament.
Yeah, finishes 1 in front of Montgomery.
Sam's 4 over par. I mean, he won't. I know Sam. He won't be too despondent. He knows he's still got a chance tomorrow. He's going to go out there and give it his best. And of course, Bernard Langer as well. Wouldn't be a bigger shock if he won. So it's all up for grabs.
It's going to be a terrific day. You can see it live on Eurosport again tomorrow afternoon. The climax, the grand finale, final round of the Volvo Masters.
Maybe we'll get a surprise winner. Who knows?
1 or 2 other issues as well. The top 15, I think, get into the US Open. Top 20 exempt into the Open Championship at Livingston St Anne's. So there's still plenty to play for lots of players.
Sure. I was talking with Wayne Riley. He's 10th in the Order of Merit at the moment, and he was just saying what a big incentive that is now, that by getting in the top 15 in the Order of Merit, you're going to get in the US Open next year, and possibly the USPGA as well, and our British Open. And it's a big thing for the players. They want to play in the major tournaments. And the US are now giving up more spots to the European players. And someone like myself, I finished 10th in the Order of Merit in '92, and they introduced the rule in the following year, so I didn't get to play. But it's something that I would really love to do, is just to go and play in the US Open.
Yes, a lot of our players get just the one chance. These 4, though, 3 members of the Ryder Cup side. Ulrich Johansson, Colin Montgomery, Ian Woosnam at the back, and Anders Forsbrand, the tournament leader at the moment.
And Anders wouldn't look out of place in the Ryder Cup team, would he?
I think many people felt he would be the first Swede to make it in the end. Joachim Hageman didn't pair Ulrich after him, but you still wouldn't rule Anders out in years to come. It's particularly around this course.
That's right. He's very tenacious, makes a lot of birdies, good short game. He's got everything you need for a match play type situation.
And he'd raise the roof if he were to roll this one in.
I hate to go back to it, but I did actually hole this putt. The only one I did hole, believe it or not.
But put you out there, could you do it again?
No. It's not far away, is it?
Is that the line? Is that going to... he hasn't hit it.
Same as David earlier on.
Greens must be getting slower.
Yes. Must have put some water on them for Anders. But he's smiling. He's not getting too hard on himself. He's known in the past to have quite a hot head, hot temperament. He looks far more in control out there.
He's good friends with Bernhard Langer. I think he's one of the Christians on the tour, and maybe that's produced a calmness in his game, in his life. Who knows? There he is, 1 ahead of Johansson, Montgomery and Woosnam. Struve's in there as well, Rivero, Guilford and Langer.
Parnovic's creeping in there as well.
Absolutely, and if Shaker can make this one, he's tied second. And you never know, there might be a foul. That's not dead for Anders Forsbrand, so he's still got a bit to do.
Bit of dinner on his plate, as they say. This is where you want to be putting from on this green. Straight up the hill. Has he hit it?
Got it.
Yes, he has.
Good finish.
Lovely.
Maybe out of eye. A Porsche to replace the one he wrote off if it goes his way tomorrow.
Probably 2 Porsches, Steve, I think.
72, 1 under, tied second.
Well, he was 5 over par with me in the first round at one stage, and now he's 1 shot behind the lead.
Could have been you.
Yeah. No.
Because your big week was in Hamburg when Bernhard Langer won by a street, but it was almost like 2 tournaments.
It was. I felt like I won. I was in second place every single round, and Bernhard just got further and further away.
Forsbrand then to retain the lead going into tomorrow's final round. Through a round of 73. A 1-shot lead. I wonder, would it be enough? You look at the players behind. Bernhard Langer, Ian Woosnam, winners of majors.
Although his lead's been reduced, he shot 73, which isn't a disaster. He hasn't lost the tournament. He's still in front. He might feel he's had his bad round, and tomorrow he feels he can go out there and shoot another sub-par round.
He has a lead of 1. Johansson, Montgomery, Woosnam and Cheka at 1 under. We see even players there, Jimenez, James, Novelo, Rocker 2 over.
Rocker's due a win, isn't he? He's been knocking on the door all season.
Sandy Lau as well, just 4 behind, and players at 4 over. Sam Torrance. Well, Sam can post a good round early on. He needs to get in front or stay in front of Colin Montgomery, who's looking so strong in the tie for second place. There you are, Jamie Spence, co-commentator, tied 33rd at the moment.
Playing to my handicap of 3. Off the ladies' tees.
Ola Carlson with the Eagle at 17.
And there's Russell Claydon, the Tottenham fan, where he belongs.
It's an Arsenal fan too, a Spurs fan. So it's Anders Forsbrand leading by 1 at Valderrama with 1 round of the European season to go. It's going to be a terrific afternoon in the sun on the Costa del Sol. Make sure that you join us for the final round of the Volvo Masters from Valderrama. 3 o'clock Central European time, 2 o'clock in the UK and Ireland. Look forward to your company. My thanks very much to Jamie Spence. Good luck tomorrow, Jamie.
Pleasure, Steve.
And good luck for the rest of the year. Join me tomorrow. I'm Steve Beddoe. Goodbye.
The Volvo Tour was brought to you by Volvo.